gonna be vlogging from running. Here's your doggy, and everything went to mayhem. Get into the house, get to the house, get into the house, get into the house. Okay? Oh, I'm very tired. No, I'm running away like a coward. Oh my God. That's the right way.
There, push it.
Okay, get out of here. Get out of here. Horsey Tory.
Hordy.
You're cringy. Where's my axe? Oh. Could I get some help? Maybe? Please, I'm trying. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome.
Okay, got my axe in hand. Got it from Asda's. The Lord himself. You can see my dad with that bum.
Get in.
And I'm gonna be doing some reacting on next video. That was just me going in the car. I'm just gonna see Travis. I'm gonna see Travis. Maybe I can just watch my dad. Let's see. Big bum.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see Travis. I know.
Hello.
Travis. 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 Oh, your mom's tablet. Travis.
What you like that?
I'm gonna watch some reacting videos next video. Hope for the best. I will tell brother from editing. Back up. Okay. I am back. I am back. I'm just gonna throw this hat away. Look at that fly. Turn on my Xbox. I can't see. I will pass the phone. This is my room. This there. And this is where I made all them other two videos. I'll see. Have you been watching this?
She's the voice of reason in a realm of madness. She does have her more surprising moments, such as when she blew away a bunch of mutants rather than allow them to be charming. Now, the littlest stuff. Maggie is usually turned into a variety of creatures during these stories, from being part alien, to being a witch, to being a demon more than a couple of times. No one leaves alive. But we cut Maggie some slack, despite her destructive tendencies, because we know she's just a baby, mimicking what she's seen on TV, or acting out based on something she can't really vocalize. But we also have to admit that a Maggie on the loose with unpredictable abilities is terrifying. Finally, we get...
Oh, this is an advert.
is making Halloween stories...
I'm just gonna sit in.
In many of the stories, he's seen as a liability. I don't forgive it. There are times such as after his wife is revealed as a witch, and
Yeah?
he accuses Lisa of witchcraft, not wanting to be mocked for throwing a rock through his own window. He screws up the timeline numerous times with a toaster, sells his soul for a donut, he wouldn't, and turns into an axe-wielding maniac just for lack of fear and TV. But we have to give him some credit, since he does try to correct the timeline and fights for Maggie as his child when he learns about Kang. He was the one to take out Burns when Lisa revealed he was a vampire, and fought against the zombies rising up after Bart and Lisa's spell went haywire. Professor Frank is brought up more often in the Treehouse segments than he is in the canon episodes. His intellect is often sought in times of panic and unusual circumstances. One story in particular focuses on him bringing his father back to life, wanting the man that inspired him to pursue science to walk among the living again. He tried warning Homer against using the teleporter too carelessly, and was one of the ones consulted when Homer was lost in the void behind the bookshelf. With that said, we've arrived at the neutral territory. These characters fall in the gray area. Moving On to a fan favorite. Groundskeeper Willie often tries to be the hero, even though that never seems to go in his favor. He tried saving the children from being eaten by the school staff, saving the family from Homer's axe-wielding rampage, and showed up to try and get Homer back on his own timeline. However, all those encounters ended up with him being taken out by an axe being plunged into his back in a twisted ongoing gag. He falls lower due to one of the most memorable Treehouse of Horror moments ever, with him being a Freddy Krueger parody, pretty much killing children as they slept. So, even though he does try to help most other times, this definitely weighs him down quite a bit. Plus, when he does try to help, he usually ends up with an axe in his back, but it's the thought that counts. Hey, diddly ho there, neighborino. Ned Flanders was a tricky one to place. On the one hand, he's usually the same helpful and lovable Ned we're used to seeing. On the other hand, he's also capable of murder if need be, and is even shown to be the devil in one particular episode where he accepts Homer's plea to sell his soul for a donut. But even as the devil, he was still a reasonable and friendly guy, accepting going through with the trial when Lisa requested it. When Homer was exposed as already giving his soul to Marge, he still punished Homer in a way that would be torture for the man, turning his head into a giant donut. In Ned's other roles, he does lose points for ending up as a zombie, a flesh-hungry mutant, and as a witch-hunting rival. The times where Ned is still the nice guy, things don't work out well. When Ned was given the ability to see people's deaths, it just made Ned desperate to protect and ultimately cause more damage. When he tried helping the Gremlin that was attacking him, and wound up with him decapitated. We drop him a bit, mainly due to the whole devil thing. But we place Ned in the gray because though he's done some questionable things, the poor guy ends up dead every time he tries to do his job. Keith Wiggum falls lower than he typically would. He manages to be just as negligent in these episodes as he does normally. But in one segment, he took it to the realm of murder. In what was meant to be a jab at Sherlock Holmes, he kills a bunch of innocent people just to be able to solve a case before anyone else can. He was also given the role as a sheriff in a small town, accusing women of witchcraft, having Marge shoved off a cliff, and led the entire police force to wait outside for Homer after the man's head was turned into a donut.
If you're innocent, you will fall to an honorable threatening death.
Normally, no one at the bar time dealing with anger but when faced in circumstances where he can run wild, he gets even crazier. He was one of the mutants that became fixated on feasting on human skin and was portrayed as a demon that came to take Marge's favorite child, only letting up if Homer performed a task for him. Finally, we've reached the dark side. These characters are the bad and the evil. Kang and Kodos have changed a lot since their introduction. In the first Halloween special, they didn't do anything vile. Alright, so they abducted the Simpsons, but under the impression that the family would want to be celebrated on their home planet. They never make it clear why they wish to honor that family exactly, but they were quickly insulted when Lisa accused the aliens of wanting to eat them. Now, their following appearances were much different, mocking humanity for their weaknesses, attempting to enslave the Earth, and even running for president.
Okay, this is pretty good so far.
With Marge having been abducted and incinerated.
This is really fun.
Being the mastermind behind one of the most gruesome Treehouse stories, the murder and cannibalism of children. Skinner is given some other questionable roles, but this one was by far the worst. He stooped to using the children as a means of dealing with the school's low budget and trying to provide better meals for not only the students but the faculty. The devouring of human meat wound up turning them all into deranged cannibals that were only concerned with getting their next victim cornered. Also, Skinner took an axe to Willie when the groundskeeper tried saving Bart, Lisa, and Milhouse. While Snake wasn't super popular, he was consistent enough to mention on this list. Being a hardened criminal, it isn't so unexpected to see him take out more than a few people. One story that stuck out, however, was when he was sentenced to death for a third strike and came back to take down the witnesses, Mo, Apu, and Bart. He was able to carry out his wishes beyond the grave, using the hair that was once his to control Homer, and his murders were gruesome and merciless. Using a corkscrew to remove Mo's heart straight from his chest, drowning Apu in the squishy machine. I know you are, but what am I? And for Bart, sealing the boy up in his room and having him see his own father take a sledgehammer to him. And the fact that his hair tried to keep going after being removed was pretty disturbing. supermedical people due to helping Mr. Burns. He collects dead bodies, knowing full well they aren't entirely dead. He helps suck the brains from school children. He helps lure victims to be devoured by Burns' army of the undead. And the list goes on and on. Ultimately, his worst trait is that he goes along with whatever Mr. Burns cooks up, just wanting nothing more than to make the men happy. We were greeted with more than a few disturbing moments during these stories, such as seeing a...
Well, this is the end. Hope you like part 2.